everyone, and welcome back to Lauren's Take. I know it has been a long time, and I apologize. Life was life, you know. So I apologize, but I am back, and I actually will have a few videos ready for you this week. First with this one, as this is basically kind of preparing. We are here, believe it or not, we have finally made it to the week of the release of Chain of Thorns, the third book and final book in the Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare. As you can see, Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, the first two books in the series, are right there. And we have been waiting for this book for about 2 years. It's not officially 2 years because the book came out March 3rd, 2021, but I have been waiting that long, okay? I've been waiting since March 6, 2021, when I finished the book, finished Chain of Iron, actually, for the first time, because I also just finished rereading both Chain of Gold, and Chain of Iron, so I was all in the loop of what's going on, what's happening with our characters, what's happening with our plot, the whole nine. So I feel prepared, but also not ready for what we are going to be having. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what Cassandra Clare has told us Chain of Thorns will actually have, and then based off of that, kind of what I'm expecting to see and what I'm hoping for, and maybe some of my predictions for the novel. I already pre-ordered it, so I don't know if it's going to actually get to me on the day it comes out, but I will get it this week, so I'm really excited and really happy about that. Alright, so I first thought it would be good to kind of read what we have going for us in Chain of Thorns. So I'll just read the tagline, then I'll read the summary. Alright, James and Cordelia must save London and their marriage in this thrilling and highly anticipated conclusion to the Last Hour series from the #1 New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Cassandra Clare. Chain of Thorns is a Shadowhunters novel. And then it also goes on to say all first edition hardcovers will include a full-color reverse jacket art, which I'm so excited about, 10 black and white interior illustrations, and a bonus short story. Cordelia Carstairs has lost everything that matters to her. In only a few short weeks, she has seen her father murdered, her plans to become parabatai with her best friend Lucy destroyed, and her marriage to James Herondale crumble before her eyes. Even worse, she is now bound to an ancient demon, Lilith, stripping her of her power as a Shadowhunter. After fleeing to Paris with Matthew Fairchild, Cordelia hopes to forget her sorrows in the city's glittering nightlife. But reality intrudes when shocking news comes from home. Tatiana Blackthorn has escaped the Adamant Citadel, and London is under a new threat by the Prince of Hell, Belial. Cordelia returns to London riven by chaos and dissent. The long-kept secret that Belial is James and Lucy's grandfather has been revealed by an unexpected enemy, and the Herondales find themselves under suspicion of dealings with demons. Cordelia longs to protect James, but is torn between a love for James she has long believed hopeless and the possibility of a new life with Matthew. Nor can her friends help. Ripped apart by their own secrets, they seem destined to face what is coming alone. For time is short, and Belial's plan is coming to crash into the Shadowhunters of London like a deadly wave, one that will separate Cordelia, Lucy, and the Merry Thieves from help of any kind. Left alone in a shadowy London, they must face Belial's deadly army. If Cordelia and her friends are going to save their city and their families, they will have to muster their courage, swallow their pride, and trust one another again. For if they fail, they may lose everything, even their souls. Okay, so so much there. There's going to be a lot in this book. It's really painful to read that. I have read that summary, I don't know how many times by this point, probably about 5 times. And every time it's just like I'm reading something again and I'm like, wait, whoa, that's what that is saying. So yeah, you know, Chain of Iron, it really ended with like literally everything kind of going to heck, and none of us expected what was going on, and it was just a lot happening, and we were just distraught, y'all. It was a lot going on, and now it's just it's still a ton of stuff happening, and it's really painful and it's really sad, but somehow we're going to make it through. Okay, so the next part of the video, I'm going to talk about some of the other little things that we found out so far. Then I will go into my predictions and desires for Chain of Thorns. So next, you know, we actually got the release of all of the chapter names. I'm not going to sit and read them all since I already read the summary and that took a while. It took longer than I thought it would. But there are 35 chapters, an intermission, a coda, and an epilogue. So the fact that we have 35 chapters, but also an intermission, like a play, is kind of like intense. I'm really excited to see what that is going to entail. In the intermission, essentially, I think it was like them grieving. It was something, I forgot where I had read that. Let me see if it's on here. And also, I'm getting all of this information from TMI source. They are like the best place to go for any news regarding Shadowhunters. Cassandra Clare like exclusively gives them content on a regular basis, so I'm getting it from them. All right, like the synopsis is everywhere, but like all of this stuff, breaking it down, I'm looking at their article, the most important things we know about Chain of Thorns. I just wanted to cite them because I am that person. So yeah. there's a lot going on, right? So the intermission is actually called grief. So I have no idea what that could mean. We have been told in this article, it says that, you know, Cassandra Clare has mentioned, and I've also seen that she has said it, someone's going to die, and it's someone important. I don't know who it is. I'm really thinking it is probably going to be one of the Merry Thieves, and I don't want it to be one of the Merry Thieves. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be one of the Merry Thieves or just someone who's really imperative to the story. It's going to be sad. It's going to be heartbreaking. I mean, we always have like one of these really painful deaths, or just painful situations happen in the finales. You know, a lot happened. You know, like I was shocked we didn't have that really happen in Chain of Iron. So it seems like Cassandra was like, "Nah, I'm gonna hold off until Chain of Thorns." Aside from like you know, Cordelia did lose her dad, which was kind of like, oh my gosh, right? But I don't know. I think in the end we were left with so much, like everyone had a secret by the end of the book. Like everyone had a secret. And I think what's so sad about Chain of Iron is I was dealing with, again, the whole James and Cordelia aftermath where James is finally free from Grace, and of course Cordelia just has to see the hug and misreads it, and then goes to Matthew, and then Matthew professes his love for her, and then she's like, oh my gosh, and then he's like, why don't we go to Paris? And then she's like, oh my gosh, why don't we? And then they go, and then James is trying to stop them because he's about to kill Matthew himself for doing this, but then Lucy goes missing because then Malcolm takes her and Jesse, who is now alive. Oh my gosh, there's just, and that's just the main people, right? Because then we have the whole Thomas and Alistair situation where, you know, they finally acknowledged their feelings for each other, finally got to kiss, finally got to have that moment. But, you know, knowing what Alistair did, he said a lot of bad stuff, and he kept perpetuating rumors about Matthew's birth and who his dad is and everything, even though it is Henry. Yeah, he just did a lot of bad stuff, and Thomas feels bad, but like, you know, the heart was what it was, you know, so we got everything. I'm sorry, that was just like a lot, but that is what we are dealing with. All right, so there is a lot. So that snippet or the summary of what this book is about to be, or the synopsis, is like too much for me, because mentally it's like, right, we have to answer all of these questions because this is the last book. There is no more of these characters after this. So it's like pain, but also like, we're gonna get through it somehow, y'all. And the lovely book trailer is so cool with the new illustrations of the characters and everything. I love it. But yeah, so general info. Here we go. Chain of Thorns, 778 pages long, 35 chapters, 167 scenes, intermission, coda, epilogue. And the final word is ran. This is, again, right on the website. It takes place 1 week after Chain of Iron with Cordelia and Matthew in Paris. That's actually not technically true. The reason I say that is because I read chapter 1. We were able to. I get access to Cassie's newsletter, and I'm also part of Simon Teen and all of the publishing stuff for any Cassandra Clare Shadowhunters novels, whatever. So I was able to read the first chapter. The first chapter messed your girl up. So we got James' perspective, we got Cordelia's perspective, we got Lucy's perspective, and we also got Ariadne's perspective. So it was just a lot going on in that first chapter, and I'll hold off to say, because I don't want to spoil stuff, but those are who we already heard from in the first chapter. But it basically started with James, you know, still looking for Lucy. It also, there was also a prologue. I'm shocked they didn't say there was a prologue. It was a prologue too. That was in James' perspective, and also to show that maybe everything that him and Cordelia did still didn't fix everything. But yeah, so there have been words to describe it where it says Paris, which Matthew and Cordelia, kidnapping, Cornwall, a party where a terrible thing happens, death, somebody's gonna die, inventions, science, secrets revealed, a new shadow hunter arrives in London. There's only one romantic scene. You know, the reason I'm sad about this is not because, no, it's not because of that. It's because there are so many couples in this series, so the fact there's only one, I'm like, who is it going to be? It probably will be James and Cordelia. Come on, it's James and Cordelia. But, like, we're not going to have that makes me feel we're not going to have any moments with Thomas and Alistair, or any moment with Lucy and Jesse, or any moment with Ariadne and Anna. Like, we'll have moments, but it's probably just not going to go to the next level, if you will. It's not like Dark Artifices where there were multiple scenes in the last book, I believe. But anyway, we're moving on. So that's excited. Cassie did say that she thinks it'll surprise us. Quote from TMI source. So, I don't know. That's kind of like intriguing. I don't know. And she was like, there's one romantic scene that doesn't play out in the expected manners that people would think. So, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm like kind of triggered about that. Also, she also said that there is an interesting gem POV at the end of the book in which we will find out the answer to a pretty important question about Belial. I have no idea what the question is, but that's what she said. We're also going to Paris, Gate to Nowhere in London, and that plays an important role in Chain of Thorns, and someone we know and care about dies in Chain of Thorns, and maybe more than one, but at least one. Oh god, so that's not fun. So that's what I was basically saying earlier. We are going to lose a character. Since it's someone we know and care about, it makes me think that it will be one of the Merry Thieves. It could be Lucy. Who knows? I don't think James or Cordelia will die. I just genuinely don't think that Cassie would do that. The reason I say Lucy is because of what she did. And in terms of, even in the first chapter, not trying to give too many spoilers, but in the first chapter, she is like recovering from bringing Jesse back. So I don't know if that's going to have damaging repercussions to the point that she may not be able to survive in the end. I'm hoping that's not true, but I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But yeah, and apparently, she said we will also have complicated feelings. So thank you, Cassie. We love to have complicated feelings. And yes, your girl is being extremely sarcastic. I'm not excited about that. Then they break down each character. I'm not going to go into that. You guys we can wait. But I am really excited about this one thing that, Ariadne will live with Anna at one point. That makes sense based off of what I read in the first chapter. That's all I'm going to say. Someone, just go try to read the first chapter, y'all. Because I feel bad, but, it's important. Then we're going to find out the secret of the necklace that James gave to Cordelia, which is really exciting. Stuff may happen with Grace and Christopher. Excited. James does get to Paris. That's important. And somehow he takes Jesse shopping. And apparently this is just really, the details behind this are kind of confuddled, because even it says the tweet with the question got deleted, but they know it was about James. Again, this is still straight up TMI source. I will put the link of this whole article in the description because I know I'm telling you a ton of information and you just want to go back for reference, please do. So thank you again to the lovely editors and writers of TMI source. I truly appreciate you so much. Lucy, there's other stuff going on. Lucy and Cordelia have a fight. Now this is really sad. And Cassie even said that it was painful for her to write. And it gets so bad that Lucy writes a chapter or writes a book called The Wicked Queen Cordelia, in which Cordelia is put into dungeons. That's really sad. Yeah, I'm like really upset. And it even says there might be consequences to Lucy's actions, y'all. Oh my god. I'm so scared. And apparently we don't get a Matthew POV like we did in... Wait, did we ever get it? Hold up. We did get a Matthew POV in Chain of Gold. I do remember that because that's when he was saying, I killed someone. What have I done? And we were like, who did you kill? And we found out who he killed in Chain of Iron. And that was so sad. Oh my gosh. But yeah. So the reason he doesn't have a POV, though, Cassie says is she doesn't want us to know what he's thinking. Or he's thinking stuff that she doesn't want us to know. So that's why he won't have it. So that's interesting. I will only talk about this. Everything else, you guys can read. Two truths and a lie. One of the people who runs a major institute is killed by a demon. We know it's not Will or Tessa, because Will lives a long time. So, thank God. Belial flies around on a giant talking bird. And one of our main core characters dies, but is reborn as a vampire. I don't know why this, to me, it sounds like it's a lie, but it makes me think it's true. Because we haven't done that since Mortal Instruments, and to be honest, it didn't last because Simon, of course, ends up becoming human again and ends up becoming a shadow hunter. So, I don't know. I feel like the lie is probably the Belial flying around on a giant talking. That is just funny to me. I don't think that's it. Or it could be one of the people who runs a major institute gets killed by a demon. The only thing I know, if that one is true, I know it's not Will. And I know it's not Tessa. Because Tessa is alive and well in Mortal Instruments, which of course takes place in recent enough present. So like 2007, 2008. But yeah, I don't know. And then, for a lot of painful snippets that were released, I was crying in a lot of them. There's one that's actually at the beginning of that's in chapter 1 that was released, in which Will says to James, he's like, why are you having a nightmare? James, you were calling for Cordelia. I'm not saying it correctly, but it's around these lines. He's like, you were calling out for Cordelia. I've never heard you be in such pain. And when I read that, your girl, like, actually had tears. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, this has turned into 15 minutes. I really had tears. It was really emotional because there's just a lot going on there. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. It's just a lot, y'all. I don't know what to do. But yeah, so let me try to see if I'm gonna read these. I'm not gonna read them. They're gonna be in the link in the description. But yeah, so let's go into my predictions based off of all that we just saw. Okay, real quick. Notice I got a new bookshelf, y'all. So I have two. Well, I have one over there. I'm not gonna show you. It's a mess over there. But I have this one, and I have this one. This is a Christmas gift, so thank you, Mommy and Daddy. Thank you. I love it because I now have 2 copies of Heroes of Olympus. I will show you up close what I got. Mine, Cinderella. So I have like these Heroes of Olympus. These are like the 10th anniversary ones. I just had to get those. I didn't have to get them, but I chose to get them because I am myself. And my Map of the Soul 7. But don't mind. And BTS, of course, always in background. So, anyway, off that random tangent. So, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that we have to get through. There's a lot of pain that is anticipated. Every married thief has something going on. Every single one. I think Christopher is like so endearing. I don't know. I'm scared something could also happen to Christopher. I don't know if it's going to be Matthew or Christopher. I just feel like I don't think something's going to happen to Thomas because he's already been through a lot, losing his sister, going through the emotions. He was almost, seen as the killer of all of the shadow hunters in Chain of Iron. Like, he's been through it. I don't know if Cassie would do that to us, and especially because he has so much going on with him and, going on between him and Alistair too. Like, they have a whole thing now, and I need to see that to fruition. So, I don't know. I don't think anything's going to happen with Thomas, but Christopher and Matthew, I don't think are safe. I genuinely don't think they are safe. I also don't think Lucy is safe. And I'm really sad about that because I'm just like, I don't want anything to happen to Lucy, but it's really bad. And even all of the stuff that they read, in this article about Lucy, like, I only told you, like, 2 of the things. There were, like, 5 things written under Lucy, and they were all pretty bad. Like, none of them are good. So, I don't know, y'all. I'm really scared that Lucy, Matthew, or Christopher may be the ones who leave us. Yeah, so I really hope that's not it. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that. But I don't know. It may be some of them. It could also be Ariadne. It could also be Anna. I don't know. Like, Cassie has done that to us, right? Like, things that we did not see coming. Like, we think of Dark Artifices, Livy dying. Like, that was something that I was not expecting whatsoever. And it was extremely painful. And I don't even think that was in Lord of Shadows, I believe. And I'm saying that correct. Yeah, I'm saying it right. Lord of Shadows. So I don't know, y'all. I'm concerned about this whole Charles Alistair Thomas situation where Charles is still messing with Alistair. I'm like, boy, go somewhere. But apparently, also in this article, they also said that at one point Matthew and Alistair yell at Charles at the same time. We don't know about what, but yeah, they do. And so that's going to be interesting. I'm also intrigued to see really how everything's going to be solved. The whole thing with Lilith, I think that was just so heartbreaking because will Cordelia get her power back? That is something I'm genuinely wondering. And actually, Cassie just released a video on I think it's the Simon Teen YouTube channel. It was one of them. I don't remember, y'all. But she said that we will meet the original Waylon the Smith. As you know, in Chain of Iron, we were supposed to meet Waylon the Smith, but of course, it was Lilith disguised as him. So, the fact that we are going to get to see the original Waylon the Smith is, 1, really cool, but 2, it makes me think Cortana could be saved. And we know Cortana is fine all the way back, later, however many years later, almost 100 plus years later, in Dark Artifices, as Emma, who is a Carstairs, uses Cortana fine, right? So, I don't know. It's a lot of pain. So that's going to be interesting. So Cortana may be okay. We also know Alistair currently has Cortana. Cordelia is pretty much giving it all up. She's like, I don't deserve it. And I'm like, girl, stop beating yourself up. So I hope Cordelia gets to a place of acceptance and realizing it was not her fault. I think everyone tried to convince her that, but, like, she's like me. Like, we're very stubborn in the sense, like, yeah, it may not have been my fault, but it was my fault, So I hope she gets out of that. I really am hoping, though I am team James and Cordelia all day long, I am intrigued to see what is going to happen with Matthew and Cordelia. I am really intrigued to see what's going to happen with them. I'm pretty sure James and Cordelia end up together, mainly because if you look up any research, like, I think some of the family trees and whatnot, James and Cordelia are definitely married. I don't remember how I found this, but I think it's probably on TMI source somewhere. I remember reading this before even Chain of Iron came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, so they are pretty much guaranteed going to stay married. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's hope, y'all. Your girl can hope. Girl can hope. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they are good. I hope they are. But I also am intrigued to see what's going to come of Matthew and Cordelia as well. And I feel, since that's why I think Matthew is going to be the one that dies and then turns into a vampire, if that is true, that is probably the lie. But I don't know. I'm kind of vibing with that, because if Matthew is the one who dies and just somehow turns into a vampire, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Like, it would work. I think he has the lifestyle for it. Not in that way. I mean it in more like, I can see him living forever. I kind of want him to live forever. You know, we love Matthew. But yeah, like, and also I just hope Matthew gets better. They also mentioned in this article that he's trying to solve his drinking problem, but in a worse way. So I'm like, I'm scared about that. Oh, Matthew. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I hope Anna and Ariadne end up together. I really have hope for them. But like, their last scene is one of the most painful, because it goes to Anna's perspective really quickly, because it was really in Ariadne's perspective, and it's like, if Ariadne had followed Anna, this is what she would have seen. And like, to see Anna in that moment of just pure, like, just heartbreak, it is like so sad. It is so sad. And like, I remember when I just reread it, I literally just reread this like last week. When I was rereading that moment, I just was so upset. I was so upset because I remembered that I forgot about the scene, the importance of rereading, and it was so sad. So I really hope they get to a better place. I mean, the fact they live together, they're going to live together, I think that's good. But I don't know, y'all. They're going to really have to push themselves for this. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm intrigued to also see what happens with Christopher and Grace, because there's definitely going to be interaction. I don't know what type. It was something that was hinted at in Chain of Iron, and it was interesting because we had first saw it in Chain of Gold when they had to talk and whatever. And then Chain of Iron, we had multiple scenes with them at the beginning, at the wedding, where, James was going to meet Grace, but then he was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to Cordelia. Thank you, James. But anyway, Christopher is like, oh, Miss Blackthorn, and he's so cute. Like, I just love Christopher. He's so adorable. And I don't know, crossing genres, or not genres, but same genre, but different stories completely. One is mythology. I just finished rereading Heroes of Olympus, and I'm currently rereading Trials of Apollo. Y'all know I read the first book, but I never finished the second. So I never finished the rest of the series, and I actually only have Dark Prophecy and Burning Maze after Hidden Oracle. So I still need to buy Tyrant's Tomb and Tower of Nero, but that's not the point. The point is, Christopher gives me Leo Valdez vibes. And the fact that they both are kind of like, they understand their science, their machine. Well, Leo, his machines, Christopher, his science. They both are kind of, not the best with people, but they are really sweet people. I don't know. I just thought about that. I think that's why Christopher is so endearing, because you guys know, Leo Valdez has my heart day in and day out. And yeah, I'm not going to go into that tangent, but yeah, so a lot of stuff happening there. I really don't know what's going to happen with Belial. I don't know. This guy has been full of surprises, full of twists. Lilith, same thing. I really don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to feel. It's all of the things, y'all. So yeah, it's going to be kind of painful, but we're going to get through it somehow. And yeah, this is a very long video, so I apologize, and I appreciate those who have stayed with me this long. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just intrigued to see all that we got from that conversation. Yeah, I think we're going to have a serious break with the Merry Thieves, and it's going to be really sad, and I think it's probably going to last like 200 pages. With the book being this long, y'all, I don't know. I think it really is going to be extremely, extremely painful. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm really sad. I'm really, really sad about it. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to deal with, y'all. But yeah. My expectations are always set high, but like I say that, but it's also like she surpasses them so easily. Okay. But yeah. Okay, I apologize for how long this video was, but there was a lot to uncover. Again, this is 2 years of anticipation. We are finally here, you all. The book will officially be on shelves Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Today is the 28th. 1 month till I turn 21, so we're turning up today. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm excited for this novel. I'm so excited. I'm gonna be sad that we're not gonna have another book for a bit, but you know, I am gonna be getting Swordcatcher. I probably will pre-order that pretty soon. But yeah, I'm really excited about it, and Cassie about to do it again, y'all. I just know it. But anyway, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't give it a thumbs down. That's just rude. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I shall see you in the next one, which will be pretty soon. So, bye.